Chief.
Yeah.
And try not to like stare into that camera too much. All right, so I'm here with my friend Danny. He's really cool.
Hey, you keep talking this way, I'll talk this way. We
so
got
then,
it.
We just need you guys to follow us on Instagram. I'm at Chief Sutton. It's I before E. A lot of people mess up on that part, and then they say they couldn't find me. Yeah. Which is crazy because it is an I and an E after a C.
But there's an H.
It's still after C though.
Well, we should have clarified that in the 4th grade.
The rules are broken. We're not meant to win. It's all a setup.
A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y.
Speaking of nursery rhymes, his dad is your dad. His dad is my dad. He makes me happy when skies are gray. Thank you, Zach. Shout out to our producer, Big Zach Chancer in the motherfucker.
Zach Chancer in the house.
But least importantly is our special guest for today. There's many D's. You know, some folks know of D1. Some people know of D3, the Mighty Ducks. I know of one most important D. D2. How you feeling, Dad?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me so much, honestly.
That was a freestyle intro because the first intro was the Your Dad is My Dad one. But then when he walked in front of the camera, it kind of threw me off.
I kind of liked it. I thought you were going to go like R2D2. I was like, here we go with this shit again already.
You've heard R2D2 a lot?
All the time, man.
That's not that
because
clever.
I'm little, though. So it makes sense if you think about it. I could be a little robot.
If you made more of the noises, yes. But I'm offended.
I only make noises in the dark.
See, I thought we were going to keep this chiller. And
That's right. We've gone that way already. Well, I could have said, hey, you want the D2? You had the D2, whatever. I'm not going there.
Is when you like zoom in and just like have
I mean, that's what my merch said back in the day, I want the D2. So I figured.
Anywho.
But that was back in the day. We'll leave that there.
So back in the day, you were a young up-and-coming DJ. Now, in the current day, you're one of the most experienced, most well-regarded in the city. What originally got you into DJing at all?
So, it's easy to... So, like, if you've known me since I've been in high school and stuff, you would think that the answer would be pretty easy because my dad, like, DJ'd in the 80s and 90s. Bedroom DJ, but, like, I was around it all the time. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, cool, my dad likes music. But I never thought, let's make a career out of this, let's make a life out of this. I was very corporate America. Mom was in a big wig over at JP Morgan Chase. So
Straight.
I know. So like corporate America was like my thing.
Yeah.
I never thought DJing would be more than just a hobby.
Right.
But I threw all the parties in high school. I threw all the parties in college. So like there was 75 people, 80 people at my house like every Friday. My parents were there. They said, look, if you guys are drinking, you're staying.
Were you the opener and your dad closed? Like at the end of the party?
Honestly, I think a Halloween party, I think that really did happen.
Yeah.
So, but it was one of those things where the party atmosphere was always around me. So I guess it just was easy for me to be, I don't want to say like in front of the spotlight because believe it or not, I'm still kind of shy. I know that sounds probably very weird for anybody to hear, but I am kind of shy, but spotlight came easy to me and whatnot where I didn't mind being the entertainment for anybody.
I'll be the court jester.
Yeah, So, but the crazy part is though too, like I didn't really start drinking till I was like 25 years old either. So like I was throwing these parties, but like I was sober. So I knew that if I could throw a party sober, I could easily throw a party like
y'all weren't in there taking a little
nothing.
None of it.
I'll tell you a story real quick. My first 21st birthday. It was a Wednesday. Do you remember when Green Iguana was over in Bloomingdale back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a little bit before my time, but nobody ever came off of it.
Yeah, it was like $1 drinks, $1 this. Yeah. So I
met my wife at Green Iguana.
Like here's the thing, I never drank. Remember, I never drank. So
Yeah.
20 years old, fresh. It was 11:59. We were in the parking lot. I was with my brother, a couple friends. God, I can't believe I'm telling the story, but I'll try to censor it a little bit.
I got a censor button.
So midnight hits. We're in there. I'm excited. Never drank. Bro, they lined up like 5 shots of what was the Goldschlager. Yeah, exactly. So, and there's a premise to this story because if you know me now, I'm allergic to cinnamon. I wasn't then, and I didn't know. I think that probably could have, spiked something up. So, anyways,
The Goldschlager gave you a cinnamon allergy.
I mean, it could have. I don't know.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm
Big
allergic to cinnamon
cinnamon,
now.
we're coming.
You know, like, don't turn me cinnamon, but I have a story. So I'll never forget. I took the shots. I drank a beer. It was 12:16, and I know this because I was going to the bathroom. I looked at my watch, and this girl asked me what time it was, and I said, it's 12:16. That is my last memory of my 21st birthday, and I'm telling you right now, it was the worst. I had throw up on my roof, throw up everywhere. I woke up in the bathtub. It was not for me, and I said, you know what? I don't really want to do this drinking thing.
Not a fan.
So didn't do it before, didn't do it after until well after 25. I was like, I'm at the bar. It's kind of weird me not drinking and my friends are, and so I was like, I guess I'll have a beer.
And that turned into, I'll have another one.
Yeah,
and then here goes one more for you.
Turned into Jameson for a little bit. Shout out to Jamie Ferreira and David Martinez for that. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. And so, Koo was heavy on that.
Koo was heavy on that. Koo was heavy on that. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. So Jameson was my go-to, and then
you said she asked you what time it was. That was a super bad line.
I mean, you're right.
Oh, she asked me what time it was.
I was so 21. I was fresh. I didn't know any better.
You were so in there.
And Green Iguana, it was popping off back in the day. It was a party. We used to party back on Wednesdays. Not anymore. But we'll talk about that later, right? Whatever.
Dog.
Wednesdays suck now.
Wednesdays, bro. When I got to college, Wednesdays was the night because of A-Crop.
Yeah.
And like, if you didn't go to A-Crop on Wednesdays, you were bumming it.
Yeah.
And like, you had, what was it? LA Hangout on Mondays.
McDinton's on Wednesdays were fire because we had all you can drink.
That was
Wednesdays.
older. I'm talking when I got here in 2010.
Oh yeah,
and bro, I was 18.
Yeah. So,
I'm not getting it nowhere in Soho. No. I didn't have no fake
Bulls Club.
Straight up,
Bulls Club, right?
Shout out to Bulls Club.
But
I could run Bulls Club up.
Do you remember we used to play beer pong there,
bro? That was my first bartending spot. That was one of my first DJing spots. That was Nickel Beers on Thursdays.
What was the other place at USF? I mean, isn't it still there?
We had Legends.
No, not Legends. It's still there right now. It's man,
not Study.
No, I'm not gonna remember.
Ivy Rose. Make sure you guys follow Thriving Hospitality on Instagram. Shout out to Ivy Rose.
Shout out Mudo, Manager Mudo. What's up, dog? We here. I will talk about you a lot, just a little bit.
He'll be on in a couple episodes. But so then you would say your dad was probably one of your early DJ influences, mentors?
Dad was early on. I said, you know what? He's doing it. So I got into it. I was on the vinyl. We have Technique 1200s that are so mint condition. They're about as old as me. So they're probably like 35 years old. And they are mint condition, like never left the house or anything. Still his and all that. So, I grew up on freestyle and stuff like that. So it was a good time. But as far as like Tampa influences, Jordan Barrett, which is Black and Mild.
Yeah.
Jordan Barrett was huge Jordan Barrett guy. Jose Diaz, which is the magician, huge. Those were my guys. David and Jamie, who I mentioned earlier, they told me how much I sucked, so I had to get better. Flacco was a good one too.
You
for a
need
while.
those guys.
Yeah. Flacco really like blew me away when we were close. We got close, and then he taught me how to some technical shit and stuff. God. It's gonna be so hard.
I've got to go back through all of them. Yep. And shout out to Marco. Make sure you watch his episode from season 2.
Yeah. He was DJ Flacco at the time. He was very Flacco at the time too. So his name fit. I'm just joking, bro. I see you working out too. Now.
I was about to say he gonna pull a six-pack out on you.
I got a six-pack now. I was like, on him one time.
And when we recorded, that's when he first was like getting back into his health stuff. He's like, yeah, bro, I'm really getting into it. And like now you look at him, this chick is yacked up.
Hey, you need it. After you hit 30, man, it's not easy.
No.
You have to put the grind time into it. And, I see a lot of these guys now grinding it out, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. workouts. That's awesome. I praise that because that's exactly what you need. You want to stay healthy in this business. You want to stay, longevity type of thing.
You got to sweat.
You got to sweat, man.
You got to get out the club and and if it's 2 a.m., cool. Yeah. I'm a morning workout guy. So if I can get my workout in as soon as I wake up, perfect.
Yeah.
If it's got to be in the afternoon, okay.
Yeah.
But get it in however you fit in,
I don't care. Just show up.
We need
Just show up. Just show up. Even the days that you don't want to go, just show up. Because as soon as you're there, at least you can say, yo, even if it was 15 minutes, I sweat.
Never mad about a workout.
Never.
And yeah, if you hurt yourself, that could almost be an excuse. But we're at an age where you really, really got to take care of yourself. And if you kind of slack for a couple weeks, you eat a little bad, you do a little bit of this, you might put on 10, 15 pounds, and it's going to take a minute to get it back off.
Yeah. And honestly, man, like I've always said it, just if you're going to invest in yourself, and that means your health more than anything.
Right.
Because if you're feeling good every single day, how bad can that day be?
Bars.
Is
that Dr. Seuss?
Nah, I think I got that off of Lollipop. I got done with it. You know, then you're like, oh. Yeah. I think that's where it was, like 1996. I read
so
it.
You had a whole crew of OGs backing you up, and they were probably holding you accountable, making sure that you knew, hey, you think you're good, but you're trash.
Yeah, and I was trash. You know, let's call it. We all suck at first. You know what I mean? It's
a lot going on.
And I feel like still nowadays, I'm like, man, I was trash today. Yeah. But you know, that's just being, you know, just wanting to perfect everything and wanting to be better every single day. If you want to talk sports related, you know, you could have Hall of Famers that were still practicing every single day, even though they knew they were going to be in the Hall of Fame. They knew they were the best of the best, you know what I mean? But they were still putting in the grind time. That should account for like anything, any business, whether it be DJing, you know, whether it be being a teacher or whatever the case is. I don't care.
Coaching.
What it is. Yeah, coaching. Just you're never gonna perfect it.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. No, and no one's ever gonna be perfect in anything.
Yeah.
So don't tell people they suck. Just help them out. Help them get better.
Do you think that like so obviously you've been DJing for a while, but you still have those moments where you're like, man, tonight sucked or I sucked. Do you think that's more your mind playing tricks on you and you're just maybe tired or a little gassed out, or it's you holding yourself to like such a high level, perfectionist level that like you're just being hard on yourself for no reason?
I think now more than ever, this sounds crazy, but now more than ever, it's harder for me to do a young person gig, like, you know, like an Ivy Rose and stuff like that, because, you know, these kids are so disconnected from what I grew up listening to and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
there's a gap.
So when I go into some of these gigs, like, even if I'm overly prepared, because I mean, I put preparation into work. Like, you know, I'm only really working 3 days a week right now. So Monday, Tuesday are my golf days. Wednesday, Thursday are my like, hey, I'm gonna do music. Like, I'm doing music. I'm getting in touch with what my gigs are that week, you know, and whether it be like a Stovall house where I'm like doing background music, or an AMSO, you know. But you know, this past week I had a Havana Nights, you know, all Latin music. Fun. So it's stuff like that where I put 2 days of work in prior to even putting work in, you know, and but these young gigs, man, like you can be overly prepared and they're just not moving. You know, and it's hard, and it's one of those. It's not.
And they're doing this the whole time,
and
dude.
It's really not the music, because you know the music's banging. You know what I mean? But you're just like, damn, you're just so disconnected right now with this young generation, and it's not a bad thing. It's just it. I feel like it may just take time for us to learn how they like it. I don't know. But I hope by then I'm fucking long gone.
I was about to say, or we'll just stick to the Stovall house. We'll stick to AMSO. Let you young kids have the young kids
I'm
stuff.
good with. I love it. Honestly, I love being background now. I don't have to be front and center. I don't want to be front and center. I want to be background. I want to be playing music where people are just like, you know, they're sitting down eating dinner or something, and then you just see them do this. They give you that little wink, and they go, that's it right there.
Or on the way out, they give you that was good right there.
Yeah, then you know, hey, I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do. And I don't know, it's less energy exerted, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I try to save as much energy as I can so I can, you know, play with my daughter, Ava, and, you know, play golf. You know, I love golf, so.
You know my favorite one to get on the way out, like how you're talking about? When somebody's uncle or just get that old head black dude telling you you're off the chain.
yeah.
Man, like that was off the chain.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at Embird, I play a lot of like new disco and funk. So it's one of those where, you know, that crowd loves that. Crowd loves that. So you see the older crowd and the younger crowd, you know, like just vibe to it. So that reaction right there, I get a lot over at Embird, because they're leaving, you know, they're walking by, they're like,
hey, all right now, you bad now, the ones and twos.
Yeah. So you know, but like I said, it's just less energy. It's not as grueling, but I just wish I could connect with the younger crowd, but it's hard for me, and I've tried. I'll still go in there and do my thing, but I'll leave there saying, damn, they probably think I suck.
Yeah, I'm not going back there.
It happens.
Yeah. Now you said you got to save a lot of your energy nowadays for Ava. Ava comes first.
Yeah, Ava comes first.
Golf comes second, though.
Golf comes second.
Big golf guy here.
Big golf guy.
Couldn't tell by the hat.
Oh, big golf guy.
Couldn't
big
tell.
golf guy.
That shirt's not a golf shirt by chance, is it?
It is a golf shirt.
What's the company that made it? It's a pretty nice shirt you got there.
Sunday Swagger. Sunday Swagger all day. I'll drop the link, guys. Get 15-20% off. Boop. I got you. No, but Sunday Swagger, man. I've been a brand ambassador for them for a little bit, and their shirts are just unreal.
They're drippy.
They're drippy, and without and the thing is, like, and I'm not saying this because I have all their shirts, but
and a discount code McGee.
But I've worn different golf shirts and whatnot, and they say sports performance and whatnot, but man, when you get to 95-degree heat, 99-degree heat, I'm golfing in the middle of the day. I don't care. I'm golfing whenever I can, morning, middle of the day, night. I don't care.
I synced it.
So their shirts, like, you can sweat in them, and you're not heavy. It's not, that heavy feeling.
Right.
It's not. So after buying a bunch of their shirts and just having a bunch of their shirts now, I'm like, I'm just gonna wear it all the time because we live in Florida where we're sweating all the time.
We're gonna walk down to the cars and sweat.
I'd rather just wear their shirt and just be done with it. So, and honestly, it's eye popping. So a lot of people say, "Yo, you got a loud shirt." I'm like, "Yeah, Sunday Swagger, hit the link."
Hit the link before you hit the links.
I like that. I love
give
it.
me my check too.
So,
Of course, bro. I'm in it.
Come on. Everybody's invited.
I've been telling you, got to get me right.
Everybody's invited. I'm a member over at a private club called Buckhorn Springs over in Valrico. It's a diamond in the rough.
Okay.
Honestly, I probably shouldn't have mentioned them because I don't want you guys going there without me, of course.
I was about to say.
It's my diamond in the rough, So, like, a lot of people go there that have played beautiful courses. They come and they're like, yo, this is awesome.
Why is this in Valrico?
Yeah, exactly. But I love it. I love it. So, but anybody's invited. Just hit me up. Hit me in my DMs. I'll take you golfing. Monday and Tuesday, my best days.
You've been on the golf grind, it seems like, as long as DJing? Longer?
No,
shorter?
Actually way shorter. So I really only started golfing during COVID.
No way.
Believe it or not. So I had golf before that, like, but that was just messing around. That wasn't really anything serious. During COVID, I was one of the first parents that had to seclude themselves from the world and from everybody because I was just having Ava the week after the world shut down.
Nice.
So it was just Tawny and myself taking care of a baby, and
bruh. Yeah, nah.
No work because work was done.
And it was that weird, like, oh, this is kind of fun, but also kind of scary, but also is the world ending, but also like,
exactly.
Is this chill?
And now you have a newborn on top of that, so like it was crazy. So for me, in order for me to like wrap my head around what was going on in life, I said, okay, well, I do like the game of golf. Let me really get into it. And when I invest myself into something, I invest myself into something. I don't care what it is.
Not half-stepping.
Yeah. So first thing I did was I found a club, a private club that I wanted to just be at. And then from there on, I just practiced my butt off, man. And we had, 6 months of
practice time
to practice. So I practiced really hard.
Yeah.
It was about practice. We talk about practice.
Not a game.
Not a game. We talk about practice.
And you could social distance there.
Yes.
You were in the ruse.
I was. Thank you.
Following the ruse.
Thank you. And what happened? Golf blew up since COVID.
Right.
And
you just timed it up well.
Just timed it up well. Yeah. And now we're 4 years in, and the grind doesn't stop. It's not as much anymore, but I definitely still love to play and love to practice.
Well, I mean, you're going twice a week, basically every week.
Yeah.
Like, do you? I guess this is jumping around topics that we were going to go off of, but a lot of people nowadays, they'll look at their schedules and they'll think, okay, I'm not playing too much. I need to go network some more. They look at someone like your schedule; it's booked and busy, as the ladies say. Do you think that your idea of networking is more on the golf course and that helps you? Or is it just something else? There's no real correlation there.
So I think this goes back about 15 years ago, maybe even 20. My mom taught me really well. Like I said, mom was very corporate America. So I've always felt like whatever I'm doing, I'm planning already ahead. So I think the easy way to put this is, when I was DJing, I planned ahead, hey, I didn't have anything to do at the time. I didn't have a kid, didn't have a wife, didn't have anything. So I would plan my schedule to, hey, let's load it up. Because let's make money.
Max it out.
Let's max it out. Let's make money. And what do I do with that money? Let's invest in equipment. We invested in equipment. And now every single year for 10 years, we invested in equipment. I still do it every single year. I still buy anywhere between $5 and $10 grand worth of equipment every single year. That's just what I do. I like to have new stuff. And later on, you can expense that out.
I was waiting for it.
But you expense that out, you get some money back off that, on your little tax break. And now you have equipment that now you can rent out and make money off that by itself.
And you, depending on how you look at it, you technically didn't pay for it.
Ish. Yeah. You spread it out. And it's one of those things where you always just have to plan ahead of time. And so with golf, for instance, I joined that country club with more than just, hey, I want to golf. There was more intent on that. I knew once I had a child that I wanted to have her do what I didn't do. I lived on a golf course for 15 years, almost 20 years, and didn't golf regularly at all. Like when I say maybe once or twice a year, that's true. And I lived on the golf course.
In your yard.
My best friend, graduate of UT, Christopher Shane, shout out. He full ride scholarship to UT golf, U.S. alternate. Few years back, I think 2013.
Beast.
Like the kid was just a beast, and he was the only one out of 10 boys in our neighborhood that golfed, and we all made fun of him for it.
Loser.
Yeah, we were like, yo, we're one short of basketball, or football.
Come play a real sport,
bro. And he wouldn't. He said he had golf. So it was one of those things where I'm like, damn, golf. But so I knew once I had my child and whatnot, that I wanted to hopefully get her into golf. And I knew that if I became a member at a private club, I would meet people that could possibly fund her future in golf. So that was the intent. There's always intent. There's always scheduling. So you want to talk about scheduling? Let's schedule a year in advance. How do you do that? You have intent with what you're doing.
I was gonna say, yeah, we sat here as we're setting up. You closed New Year's.
I closed New Year's. Yeah.
So part of it is intent. Part of it is straight up sales ability.
Yeah.
Did you ever do sales before?
Always in sales. I've always been in sales.
I was gonna say you're a salesman.
Yeah, I've always been in sales. So
yeah.
So when you're 5'5",
hey,
I'm a little dude. So I had to figure something out, and sales was my thing because you know what what do they call it, the slay of tongue or whatever, I don't know.
The gift of gab.
Whatever. Tongue this, tongue that.
Yeah. See?
Oh, did we go dark? See? Oh, I was trying to hold up.
Doing that. God damn it. Nah. What is it? He's got a slick tongue, silver tongue.
Silver tongue. That's what it was. Okay, we're getting there.
See, that's like a grandma thing. And you had to make it like a sexual innuendo.
Well, grandmas need loving too, my guy.
See, all right, bro. Anyway, you're good at networking. You can sell whatever. You kind of already answered it. But every DJ essentially at one point has to decide, am I going to pursue it on like the club side and be a producer DJ cat, or am I going to be a true DJ entrepreneur and maybe try to stick in the clubs and tour, but for the most part get into the private and stuff like that? Did you ever have to like sit down and make that decision, or did it kind of just naturally flow?
I think it naturally flowed. But if there's one advice that I can give to the young guys is, once again, this word intent. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
If you have intent and plan correctly, make anything that you're doing a business. I don't care what it is. Like make it a business. Like my golf now is a business. I make, hey guys, go ahead. Purchase a Sunday Swagger shirt. Thanks for some money back to me. I appreciate that. But I made it a business, But like I said, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It could be DJing. So let's talk about DJing real quick. Make it a business. How? You invest in yourself by investing in things. So I invested in equipment. The one thing, once I started investing in equipment, what did I have to do? I had to learn how to wire the equipment. I had to learn how to fix the equipment.
Oh, with the troubleshoot.
So a lot of these young guys, you put them in front of some CDJs in a mixer. If something goes wrong, they don't know how to go on internal mode.
That's it.
They don't. You get what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to play that. Or let's say for instance, not too long ago I was over at a club on a rooftop, not Embered, in Ybor, and there was
We're playing Blues Clues over here.
Go ahead and figure that one out, guys. But
I was about to shout out a name, but we'll let it be.
Their wiring was bad on one of the mixers, and the guy that they had playing after me, he got there before me, and he was doing a sound check, and he didn't know what was wrong, you know. And I said to him, "Well, did you check these wires? Oh no, I didn't know how to do that." I think that's where we lose sight on where the DJ like phase is going, kind of thing, like the DJ world. And these younger kids, they want the instant gratification. They want to be a headliner. They want to do this. If I switched RCAs on you, are you gonna know how to do that? Are you gonna know how to just switch it back? Because it's something as simple as that.
Literally just upside down.
Yeah.
Not even
like
pull it from a different
If I went
channel.
to red to white, and instead of red and red, would you have known to just switch it over because it's going in reverse? Like, you probably didn't.
I saw a whole video the other day of this, like, how in-house DJ put a mirror up right here because it was all in reverse. And I'm sitting there watching that. I'm like, the second time that I ever set up my CDJs at the house, I had it backwards like that. It took me 4.5 seconds to just go, oh, crap. Wrong color in the wrong color. They made a whole video post showing how innovative they were for just putting a mirror because it was playing backwards. And I'm like, why did you just fix it playing backwards instead of doing all that extra crap?
Exactly. So I don't know. So it's one of those where I feel like the intent has to be there. If you want to make money off of anything, you have to put some kind of grind into it, and you have to have an intent. You have to have a business philosophy on how to go about that going for the future, whether it be a 5-day goal, 5-week goal, 5-month goal, 5-year goal. I think that's the plan. And I think how you base, what you want it to be is how big you want to be. I wanted to become a bigger DJ, but I wanted to become more than just a DJ. I wanted to become a guy that was, used for audio production and stuff. Hey, go ahead. Can you go ahead and set these cameras up, set this up? I learned how to do all that.
Doing voice of God stuff.
Shout out to Full Sail University as well. Thank you.
Hey.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, very expensive, but
great people though.
But great people, and you learn those things, But that's the thing. I invested money to go back to school to learn, and people ask all the time, was it worth it? And my honest answer is always no, it was not worth the $30,000+ to learn this, because I could have learned it off of YouTube. However, I did it, I learned it, and now I feel comfortable at any venue, with any equipment to fix. You know what I mean?
You charged it to the game, bro.
Yeah,
more than
exactly.
anything.
A great example, actually. And my nephew, he just had his VPK graduation.
Nice.
I almost didn't go because I had to go to work, but I ended up going. And I'm in the auditorium. I'm sitting down. It's like 5 minutes before they start, and you can just like the panic on the teachers' faces. The speaker wasn't working. So they only had one speaker, and it wasn't working. I see them toggling around with the computer and whatnot. I said, "Marcos, hold my beer." Marcos, my brother, by the way, guys.
If you didn't know my brother earlier.
Marcos, what's up, dog? You're there too. Badass paintball guy. If you guys ever want to get shot in the head or in the back, backs and packs, paintball. Marcos, hit him up. Hit
paintball and golf shirt.
Yeah, it looks like he shot me actually the whole time. Splatter shirt. Gotta love that. Sunny Swagger. Once again, the link's here. But
he doesn't make money off paintball.
I don't make money
he's not
off
a big
paintball.
paintball guy.
Yeah. I just get welts and bruises when I go out on Sundays. Yeah, it's great. Hey, my brother calls me. Hey man, you want to come play paintball? Yeah, sure. I want to get shot by you professional guys. It's awesome.
Don't even call me with that crap, bro. I'm straight.
It is fun though. It is fun. But so I go there. I check their wiring, and I knew it was a simple fix. So their Bluetooth speaker just wasn't connecting to the computer, which probably means that somebody was connected with their phone. But instead of doing that, I just went to my bag, which was in my car, my DJ bag. I got an RCA to 1/8 millimeter cable.
Boom. Plug 'em in.
Boom. So aux cable for you other guys.
Did you have to have the adapter for the iPhone on top of it?
No, because I went right into the computer.
Boom.
So it was hardwired. Now it was done. So something little like that. I got a round of applause. There.
You saved the VPK graduation.
Honestly,
Thank you, D2.
But I was so grateful. But it's one of those things where like you learn that. You know what I mean? You have to learn that. If you don't know that, you're not going to know that. So a lot of these guys, they're playing. Did I just drop? Oh, I just dropped my phone, guys. No, we don't need that.
No.
But if you don't know that and you don't learn that, like, I feel like you need to learn from the basics. Like, and that's the only way you can invest in yourself is by learning from ground zero, from the foundation. And us older DJs need to stop wanting to grab these younger guys and be like, yeah, and just instead being like, hey, let's learn this because you are the future.
So that's not exactly. I agree. We don't need to be strangling them, and yes, they are the future. But a lot of the times when you go to talk to them, they're some fucking dickheads, bro.
I know, man.
And you go to talk to them and try to help them, and they talk down to you almost, and it's like, okay, if I would have ever done this to Connects or Kid You Not or somebody like that, for one, I wouldn't do that because they were so cool.
Yeah.
But for two, I'm getting tossed out. I'm never playing anywhere, and like it's over. So part of it is those attitudes. I think part of it comes from they get so much views and likes and followers on social media, and then other people tell them that they're so great all the time, that a lot of them just kind of have a skewed vision of what great actually is.
But how many people do you think have really tried to help them?
I mean, with that kind of attitude, none. If that's your attitude, none. But there are younger cats that we are helping.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to play devil's advocate because it is easy to help somebody who wants to learn. Okay, it's super easy to help somebody.
Of course.
But how do we teach people who don't want to learn? You have to eventually. They're going to run into a situation. If you try to help, if you're a younger guy,
right,
and I tried to help you, and you had that pompous attitude,
yep,
you know, so yeah, you might not have taken it, but I tried. I said it. You heard me say it. So now I don't care if it's 2 or 3 years down the line from now. If you run into a situation and it requires whatever I was trying to help you with,
and you can't
do it, you're gonna come back and you're gonna say, "Damn, I should have listened." So I don't care if it's years down the road. At least now they know that somebody wanted to help.
Tried to
help. You know what I mean? And maybe that will just keep getting passed forward. So maybe now later on in life he helps somebody, or you know what I mean. I don't know. I'm big on paying it forward. Right. You know, try to be nice to as many people as you can. I know I'm not always nice. You know, a lot of you guys, you know, you Parker and Mudo, you guys could probably all come up and say, "God, you were a dickhead when we first met you," and I was a dickhead because.
You actually weren't a dickhead to me.
Well, because you listened.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Parker. The kid didn't listen at all. I made him cry in front of his mom at his first gig with me. I'm okay with that. I don't care. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to ask him about that one.
I don't really care. You know what I mean? But it's one of those where like, where I almost felt like
you had to help him.
I had to help. So learn it. You know what I mean? Like, and once I teach you it, you can keep asking me that question. That's fine. But eventually you have to learn it yourself, you know? And I think, I don't know, man, I'm just here. These young kids ain't going nowhere, dog.
I'm just a different type of teacher, bro. Like my greatest protege is probably Sammy.
Yeah.
Dude literally knocked on my door and said, "Hey, my mom told me to ask for Brandon." I'm like, "Yeah, come on up. Let's turn you to a DJ a little bit."
Is this when you lived over in Temple Terrace?
Yeah,
I was
Springville Court.
Yeah. I was there one time.
Yeah, house is sick.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to be taught, that's how you need to step to me.
Yeah.
You give me some of that attitude and stuff. Hey, man, go ahead and fail on your own.
And that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like I'm a little softer, and I was still a dickhead. You know what I mean? So it's one of those. It's like I don't even know. I'm not explaining.
It's a weird.
I know, man.
Scale, I guess.
But these kids, you know, they're. We want to bash them and stuff like that, but they're doing it right with the material that they have. You know, they're on YouTube. They're on TikTok. They're doing everything that I felt like maybe we had, maybe not TikTok, but YouTube. You know, we were talking about this earlier, but like YouTube.
Yeah.
We were the generation that YouTube first like started out at, and we just let it slip through our fingers. I must feel like
we definitely should have taken it first.
Like, bro, I was doing some dumb shit.
Same.
Like, you know, like jackass shit with my friends, you know, away from the music scene. And I'm like, yo, if we filmed that and we would have put it on YouTube, we would have been money, honey.
The parties you were throwing?
We probably didn't want to put those on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. That was always
that was always our
mentality.
I don't want this out there. I don't want this. No one can get away with anything nowadays. You know what I mean?
Out of windows and stuff.
Which is right. That's probably why we didn't do it. But these kids have grown up on this. They don't know what AOL is. They don't know what the beep dial-up was. You know what I mean? They don't know what broadband was. All they know is this fast-ass Wi-Fi that they can upload anything quick.
I need views.
Interweb. Yeah, I need views.
Numbers.
Exactly.
And if it is something that I probably shouldn't be posting, good.
Let
me post it faster.
Yeah, exactly. Because guess what? What do they say? Bad media is still good media.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
there's no such thing as bad press.
Exactly. Give me all the bad press possible.
No.
You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, it comes to a point where I feel like you can do that and can't do that. Once you have like a family and stuff like that, bad press, you really don't want bad press.
No.
You don't want bad press.
I don't even have a wife and kids, and just with me coaching at the school, I have to kind of like watch myself and what I'm saying stuff, even what I'm wearing, when I'm walking around the city.
Let's not get canceled type of thing, you know?
I don't want to get fired.
Or fired from a job because you grabbed a mic and said something naughty.
He said a naughty word on the microphone in front of the people.
There was 3 people there. Oh my God. That's another story.
That was 3 more than this shit. Yeah, either way. But the state of the local DJ scene now, because right now it is kind of in a, I don't know if it's an adjustment period or if this is just how it's going to be from now on. But like we've been saying earlier in our careers, there was multiple Monday night parties thriving. Multiple Tuesdays. Wednesdays were a banger. Thursdays were essentially our Fridays now.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the past was just
you knew.
There was 3 times the gigs.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's more venues and stuff open now with significantly less gigs. So do you think that's a Tampa thing? Is that a world thing?
I think it's a Tampa thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a Tampa thing. But this is me saying this off rip, so I'm probably going to be wrong on this or whatever the case is. But
perfect.
But I think it's a Tampa thing because I think we're just getting away from the club scene. I think, no one wants to be a club anymore. No one wants, everything is background. Think about it. Water Street, everything on Water Street. Like if you have a DJ in there, you're not really front and center. You know what I mean?
They all tried DJs at first and have gone to live music.
Yeah.
Because like people just don't, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are a DJ, your background.
Very background.
So a lot of people probably just don't want to do that. They want that front and center type of aspect. You know what I mean? Like there's some DJs that deserve to be front and center, get paid the most in the city because they are so freaking good. Like there's a handful of these guys that are so good and deserve to be front and center. But do they probably want to take it like a Predalina gig, being background? Probably not. But it's a great job still for somebody.
Right. Is that?
I love it.
I was about to say, is that more humility, or is that just us making a decision that we like something else?
I think if you like something, you like something. I don't think anybody's right or wrong for what they like and at what point. Because, like I said, I didn't mind being front and center for 10 years. Now, I don't want to be front and center. Let me be background. I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. Let me chill at brunch.
Yeah.
Let me get something nice to eat.
And we're talking about regular gigs here. If we're talking about private events, I'm front and center, and I'm going to show you why you paid top dollar for me.
That's the only time I get on the mic.
Thank you.
Private events, weddings, any of that other stuff.
This is the only time I get on the mic now.
They can't afford me on the mic at the club. What y'all talking about? Private events. Yeah, you're not allowed on the mic at the club.
I'm not in the club. No.
Because you need to go to work.
Yeah. But private events, man,
private events are popping out here right now.
Thank you. And that's where I really moved forward to. I was like, I've always done private events. I love doing private events. I love the money in private events. However, I'm capitalizing on business now, saying I'd rather do 2 private events a month that cover 6 gigs, 7 gigs.
Yeah, of the smaller
ones.
Yeah.
So why not do that? Why not invest my time in that? So now I can only work 3 days a week. I have that ability. I can be home or golfing with my daughter, with my family, on those 4 days instead of having to make, a bare minimum because I need to make ends meet.
Right. I think a bunch of us were talking might have been early this year or the end of last year, where we were all kind of in the same page of let's just raise our rates a little bit, play a little bit less, but make more, which sounds kind of like, oh, yeah, that's what everybody wants to do. I want to go to work less and make more money. But, you can actually do that if you're willing to say no to a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
And keep yourself open for some last-minute stuff, some random stuff. But, most people aren't willing to do that. I feel like right now with how,
it's scary times, man. Yeah, it's that.
You just got to take everything.
It's scary times, yeah. And whether you have a family, whether you're by yourself, everybody still has bills at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That they have to pay. So sometimes they do have to sell their soul in a way to, hey, I'm going to make a little less here, but it's guaranteed. You know, and we can't fault them for that. Do I hate it? I hate it, yes, because I feel like Tampa DJs haven't got a raise in a decade more.
We still can't get the union going though.
And we're not going to, because there's always gonna be somebody out there with more views than us that wants to be front and center, and we'll take less.
No matter what.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And if we could get everyone on the same page, or at least 95% of people on the same page.
But it won't happen.
Never.
We're too cliquey in Tampa.
Yeah.
You have your clicks. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Everybody has their clicks.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we just have to just keep pursuing and just making sure that we're doing our best as DJs when we're booked, because if we're doing that, we'll keep outshining everybody else.
Yeah, it raises the standard.
Thank you.
It is so much harder playing here than any other city that I go to.
Go to St. Pete, bro. St. Pete, a bridge away.
I love it.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody over there's having fun.
Yeah.
They're, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things to do over there right now.
Yeah.
And good for them. You know, but us Tampa folks, we see a bridge and we're like, man, fuck that. We ain't going over there.
It's crazy. I got to drag people to come chill over there, bro.
We ain't going over there.
Yeah. For those that don't know, I live on the St. Pete side. I live in Pinellas Park. And, like, when I play the Dunedin gigs or anything like that, Tampa people are like, why don't go away?
Remember, I was doing Shepherds. I was out at Crown and Bull over in Dunedin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was out in Dunedin. I was on that side for a small portion of my DJ career.
That's a ride from you now, boy.
Yeah, do you remember Sundays back in the day? It would be start at Megalitos for brunch, then drive across the bridge to do Shepherds, and then end the night at the lodge. Like, think about that.
That's a run.
That's a run. That's insane now.
That can't happen on a Sunday.
No.
If you were to pull that off, that's going to be doing maybe like a living room or a top shelf brunch, 11 to 3, and then I guess maybe a PCI day shift, maybe. But even then, not going to be the same as how Shepherds was, because that was
fun.
That was dirty.
That was fun.
That was nasty.
What was more fun? Shepherds or beach?
Ooh.
I think beach.
Yeah.
I think beach. It was shorter, but
probably my favorite set of my entire life was the Thomas, Jack, and Chami at beach. That was on my birthday, and I had direct support.
Yeah.
And like, bro,
so
I was so locked
I played
in.
with Chami on the after party.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget this. By the way, once again, 5'5". Chami's like 6'5".
I was about to say that's
dude's a monster. I'll never forget. He needed to eject his thumb drive, and he goes, "Hey, Danny, can you do that? My finger too big." Bro, I'm not lying when I say this. That was the funniest shit ever. I was just like,
Danny, will you get this photo of me?
This poor guy's breaking his back to talk to me. I'm like, oh, man.
That's a big man.
It is. I think the only person bigger than him was Randy Johnson. DJ Explicit, go ahead. Shout out.
I hate playing with you, Randy. It's so weird.
Randy and I used to DJ back to back every now and then. That's a fucking.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I put the District Tavern. I'm like sick. The controller's bigger than me. He's got it set up to my neck.
He had it set up. Yeah. I always had to beat him to the gigs. So he didn't raise it. I'm like, oh no, come on, man.
Oh, you didn't bring my stool either? So I just got to raw dog this? Like, damn.
Man. Oh, man. Good times, though.
But I mean, either way, not getting, too off topic, but obviously it's not like that no more. We don't have a lot of those venues, and even those venues that are open, for one, they're not really paying like that for the most part. A lot of us, we understand that. We fill our schedules how we fill our schedules. What do you think happens in the next year or 5 years? Is there more of a comeback to some of the culture that we've been losing, or we're just a wannabe Brickell and we're just going to keep going further into the restaurants?
Without being political, I think it's where our economy is going to take us. If we can start affording...
This man said without being political in his political voice. And if you guys are ready to get PC, shout out to our sponsor, Pure
PC.
Culture Vodka.
Get PC with me, baby.
We're
Get
keeping
PC
it
with
PC.
me. So no, I just feel like if our bills aren't to our neck, I had this conversation with my buddy the other day. I'm making the most I've ever made in my life, but still,
Why does it feel tighter than 2 years ago?
Yeah, like
when I made $30K less.
I saw this thing on the internet, which you don't want to really believe, but this guy went and did his groceries. He had his receipt from like 2 or 3 years ago, and it almost tripled.
I sent you that. It was the reorder thing.
Oh, it was
like $144 a year ago, and then if he put it to reorder right now, it's like $450.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro,
That's crazy.
We've all been dealing with that and like not really realizing it. You're a numbers guy. You do your budget. You're sitting there. You're like, bro, I should have more money than this.
And I'm all numbers. So if you talk to my family, anybody in my family, they'll let you know that Danny was the only person who could make $1 last forever. Because I learned how to do that at a very young age, like on how to manage my money. Do I spend on crazy stuff like 100 pairs of Jordans? Probably. I'm stupid.
But you know your habits.
But I know my habits exactly. You know, there's stuff that I spend on. There's stuff that I save on. But like I'm always saving money. But it's hard to save right now. So I don't. To answer your question, I don't know. Yeah. Because I wish for the best because I think Tampa is one of the best cities in America. You know, I feel like when a lot of people come and visit Tampa from another city that have never come to Tampa, they say, "Yo, Tampa's dope.
They love it.
St. Pete's dope. This area is dope. Like, what are y'all doing down here?" You know, and
as Jane Castro, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. You know, so I don't know how to answer that question because I want to say and you know, I guess say, oh my God, yeah, I think
it's all gonna be great.
I think we're gonna bounce back, but it's gonna take the right owners to come down here, buy places, and make it what we want it to be. And I think it's gonna take years. And I think one of the hardest things right now for anybody is to listen. Everybody just wants to talk. And no one's listening, you know, whether it be the young generation, whether it be the owners,
the old head DJs,
the old, you know, whoever it is, like no one wants to listen. Like just sit back and actually listen to people. I don't care whether you jot it down or don't care about what they just said, but any information is good information because you're getting it.
You need it.
You know, you need it. You need it. I don't care who it's from. Just listen to it. You know, read a book. You know, or if you don't have time to read, I don't have time to read anymore. You know what I do? Audible.
Yeah.
I'm perfecting my craft on sales still. I'm sales books. How to make
saying tech. I'm like this boy he's been reading.
Yeah,
been
bro.
In the lab,
it's all. But it's you have to be.
You meditating too?
I'm not meditating, not yet. I probably need to though. I took a gummy the other day. Yeah, first time.
CBD, right?
Yeah, CBD 100%.
Yeah. But you can legally buy at a gas station because it's legal.
I'll tell you what. That was something else. It got me a little loopy, but like I woke up the next day fully refreshed because I got some sleep.
Brother.
You know what I mean?
And if you like Audible,
like
you get that headspace. It's just little 10-minute guided meditation.
And it lets
with your feet on the floor, your arms hang on the chair, leg.
Audible's life.
And you just ride. You get those meditations in. You get your meditation out. Now you go right back into Audible. Get your sales book in, your hype, whatever you're into. Go.
Dude, just more information is better than not having it at all.
Right.
You know, so give me all the information. Let's give all the information. I don't know. So I hope Tampa's thriving in 5 years, man, because I don't plan on DJing in 5 years. I plan on being done.
What's the next play?
I can't say.
Because they'll steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I do have some things in line. I don't want to say, but I will say this. I want to be less DJing, you know, more, hey, production, more this, more that. But there's something so far left field. I think I'm going to get back into sales. I think let's put it that way.
It never gets out of you.
It never. And I've come to the point in my life where I've had a good run. It's been great. I don't mind anymore working on I want to work on the weekdays and have the weekends because my daughter's getting older.
Right.
And I miss all her friends' birthday parties. You know, I miss everything monumental type of thing, you know. And it's great for right now because I only work 3 days a week. I'm blessed for that. I get to have golf, you know, during the week, but there's going to come a point in time where I want my weekends to myself and to my family and not to appease anybody's ears.
To go make somebody else's day an evening and afternoon. Make their time.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, 5-year plan. This is my third 5-year plan. I'm coming to the end of it. I've been doing this for 15 years now. And there's a new 5-year plan that's in place. And once that 5-year plan is done, I plan on just set and sail.
Take off.
Yes.
Well, is there any smaller tier goals that you can share with us inside of the next 5 year or the end of this 5 year?
I don't know, man. Just golf. That's all I can think about in my life is golf.
This guy don't want to tell us nothing.
All I think about is golf, you know, and how great golf has been to me and how it's, you know, my mindset's been different because I've started golfing. I'm more laid back. I'm more cool-headed, and that comes from golf.
Yeah.
You know, in golf, you can you can play the worst round of your life. You hit one good shot, you want to come back.
It just warms you up.
On the flip side of that, you can play really, really good golf. You can hit one bad shot and let that derail you, or that next shot, you can make it your best shot.
Okay, Ted Lasso.
You know, hey, it's a truth. You know, it's a truth. This is truth.
So then
do you think you would ever want to take it professionally?
No, I'm way too late for that. I'm not good enough. Yeah,
those kids are they're popping up at 14 years old.
Like I have Ava into golf lessons at 4. You know, the minimum requirement age was 6, and I said, no, we're gonna start this at 4.
Yeah,
we're gonna let her grind it out. You know, so she's been going to the golf course with me every Wednesday. We do golfing. We go golf.
That's the 5-year plan.
That's the 5-year plan.
He's about to put her on the road to go pro. He's going to be his agent.
She's
We can be like Tiger Woods and his daddy.
When she turns 18, you bet your ass I'm retiring. NIL deals are flying this way,
We're
baby.
getting this money over
That's
here, dog.
That's 1,000%.
Daddy can sell.
14 years, guys. Bye. Hitting the lotto. That is my lotto. Ava's my lotto, everybody. Listen and learn. Start investing in her now. Got you guys.
You better tell them. Now, before we wrap up, obviously, this whole podcast is for the hustlers, the entrepreneurs, and for most of us, we don't actually know how to calm down or relax. I'm the type of person where relaxing is the hardest thing that I have to find myself forcing myself to do. What do you mentioned golf again. Is golf how you keep a cool head and reset yourself through all the hustling? Or even before golf, when you were doing 5-6 days a week, did you have anything to reset, or were you just running off the muscle?
I was running off the muscle back then.
Obviously.
I think now
most of us were.
Yeah, I think now more than ever, golf. So let's put it like this: golf is my serenity. I think everybody needs to find a serenity. I think everybody needs to find something. I don't care what it is. Some people like to play video games. Some people like to go, walks on the beach. Some people like to just do whatever.
Some people just painting, reading,
paint,
whatever
read, whatever it is. Put social media down. Go find something that you can do for 2 or 3 hours that you end up loving, and that no matter what, your busy life, maybe you're going through some dark times, and shit like that, but find something that you can do for 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't need to be every day. It just needs to be when you're at your most stressed that you can go do and do it. But you got to find it. Mine is golf. I have 4 hours of, I don't care what's going on in the world. I don't care about my finances. I don't care about anything.
Tuned out.
I don't care about, the next gig. That New Year's Eve call right there, probably don't even answer that on the golf course, because it's my time and it's my reset button. And now I get to enjoy it with my daughter. So that's the icing on the cake.
Right.
But everybody has something that they love doing that's not their job. You know what I mean? So you have to find serenity in that.
Your healthy escape, if you will.
Healthy escape.
Yeah.
And the health is the most important thing here. I've invested in my health.
Right.
And
you're jacked. People sleep. People think just because Danny's not as tall that he ain't yacked up.
So I you put money into health, especially when you get, I'm 36. So it's like I had to invest in it, and I'm more flexible than ever. I'm stronger than I've ever been, and it's because I invested with intent to be better, and to a health program called Par for Success. Golfers, get on that, by the way. If you're a golfer listening to this, Par for Success. Par for Success will drive you to the right place. I'm telling you right now. It's crazy what they've done in 4 months to me.
He said drive you to the right place. This guy's on fire.
God, it's all balls and shafts here,
See, we were doing so well, bro.
I felt like it was like 20 minutes without me doing something bad.
You just had an itch. You're like, let me get one out. What is your workout schedule like? If you're all over.
Yeah, so I try to work out 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are kind of washes because I'm working or whatever the case is.
Get a little sauna in.
You know how you were saying you're early morning guy or whatever the case is? Me, I found it that I'm not an early morning guy. Like, so I am an early morning guy to get up. Like, even though I work at night, I'm up every day by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. My wife fucking hates it. She's like, I don't know how you do this. You get home 2, 3, 4 in the morning, but you're up at 8 and you're ready to go. Like, and I'm not saying like a sloth. I'm ready to go.
You
ready
jump up
ready to start the
like
day.
This.
This is who I am at 8:01. Here I am. Here I am, baby.
I rise.
Go wake up with me, baby. And then she just kicks me out of the room and tells me to go feed the dogs.
Yeah.
But
shut up.
But I've learned though, even though morning guy, my peak working out hours like noon to 2, noon to 3. So I found that. So I try to do my paperwork. I try to do all my invoices or anything that I have to get done, music, before that. So then I can go work out and do that. And, and then I circle that around golf. So I'll try to golf early and then go work out, or go work out, then golf. It's one of those where you just have to set your schedule with intent. Once again, intent should be the word here.
Boom.
Set your schedule weekly with
Intention.
Boom.
And today's intention.
Don't just even if you have no kids or no nothing, no girl, and you're just free from the world.
You ugly. You ain't got no girl. You'll dry as
If
phone.
you have intent that week, if you put a schedule down that week with intent and you crush it, you feel so much better at the end of that week saying, I did that.
Absolutely.
Even if it's small goals.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
And you feel better.
Yeah.
And if you feel better, nothing stops a good feeling man. I will say that right now. You feel good. What ZZ? What they ZZ?
Feel good. You look good. You play good. You play good.
I'm with all these that I don't know. I hear this shit. I don't fucking know what it is. ZZ Top, whatever they said.
Oh, sure. Look at that. We're about to hit an hour.
Perfect.
You know what? That might be a good idea, huh? So where are we at right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Whose office is this?
Oh, where? Beat Gig.
Shout outs to Beat Gig. Make sure you guys follow Beat Gig on Instagram
for real.
Beat Gig. BAATGIG.
They keep me busy.
Shout outs to Living Room. Shout outs to Stovall House. Shout outs to the other living room.
Killing Curly.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
They have gone out of their way since we've been with them since Ivy probably. So what, year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
Probably going on close to 3. Fantastic company to work
Fantastic.
for. Fantastic company to work with.
Allie, I love Allie.
Yeah, shout out to Allie. Shout out to Lawson.
Allie. Yeah, Lawson. The whole gang.
We'll get some B-roll of out here and stuff like that, but we're literally on the 34th floor looking over all of Tampa.
Hey, yo, that elevator was fast too, right?
It was kind of scary fast.
Right?
I'm like, this is gonna zoom.
I've never been in the elevator that fast. The little old lady next to me seemed calm, cool and collected, but I was like, oh shit.
I want to get some gum. My ears about to start popping like I'm on an airplane. No, I'm not with it.
I love it.
We just rolled right into it. But yeah, B-Gig's been so good to us. Like we've been talking about, it's been really inconsistent for most DJs. I could imagine that if you're not working with at least one company, it's been real hard for you the last couple of years. We've seen guys that work for other companies that kind of just triple down and really sell their soul to that company, which is cool.
Yeah.
They fill their schedule how they want to fill it, do it how they want to do it. But a dude like you, I mean, you play for just about every team, don't you?
I swing both ways, baby. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'll let you have that one.
I swing both ways, baby. You know what I mean?
I play well with others, dog, so you know how it goes sometimes.
If you need corporate Danny, then you got corporate Danny. If you want bad boy Danny, you got bad boy Danny. If you want scary D2, that man's scary.
He's scary.
He's scary.
But that comes from you just being a cool person to work with.
I try.
You're not difficult. You show up early. You do the job.
I'm professional.
That's
99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
Just don't let me grab the mic.
I was hesitant today.
But no, you just gotta pump people up. You know what I mean? Whether their love language is words of affirmation or not.
This boy really been on that Audible.
Give it to them. Yeah, bro. Give it to them.
Yeah.
I'll text my boys all the time. I've done it to you. I'll just text you randomly and just tell you guys, yo, you're doing a great job. I love you.
Yeah. And it's even crazier when it's at 3 a.m. and I'm like,
whatever.
Nah, he saw the story was popping tonight. He said, "I'm letting it know."
So I don't know, and that's for, I think that's for a more personal thing where tell your friends that you love them, man. Tell them that they're doing a good job. Tell the people you don't know, say hello.
Right, smile at somebody.
Younger kids, listen to this. Say hello. It's okay. How many times have you gone through a drive-through window right now and these people don't even know how to look you in the eye? It's crazy to me.
They look at you like you're pissing them off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yo, tell your people you love them and tell your people hello. Look people in the eye and just say hello. That's it. That's all I want you people to do. If you take anything out of this, intent and just words of affirmation.
Boom.
Give everybody that, and everybody will respect you at the end of the day. Do people not like me? Some people don't like me, but I guarantee you, most people will like me.
Yeah, the polls show. More like than dislike.
And it's
we're up.
And it's because I respect everybody. You just gotta respect them, man.
Yeah.
Respect them and really go out of your way and tell people sometimes, yo, you love them. That's it. Parker, I love you, buddy. Sorry for making you cry in front of your mother.
Yeah. But, deserved it.
You did.
Well, I love you.
Love you, buddy.
Great episode. I
Thank you
love
so
Mr.
much.
Janzer. Thank you for filming with us.
Fist pump. Skirt, skirt.
If you're watching this episode, odds are probably love you too and have some high level respect for you. So thanks for sticking with us. Make sure you follow DJD2 on Instagram at
I don't know. DJD2.
I think it's DJD2 Tampa.
underscore Tampa. Underscore Tampa. Yeah.
I didn't want to get it wrong, but
whatever.
So
whatever. I'm not posting.
DJs, we gotta do better on social media.
I'm not posting my schedule anyway on there. You're gonna find me to find me. I don't care.
Doesn't
Text
know
me.
his fucking
813. I'm just joking.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Once again, shout out to Beat Gig.
Yes,
shout
Beat
out
Gig, thank
to Pure
you.
Culture Vodka.
PC. Get PC'd with us.
If you want to get PC'd, we're gonna work on another tagline for them. Do you want to shout out your 16 sponsors?
No. Sunny Swagger. I love you guys. Part for Success. You guys are amazing.
Make sure you like, subscribe, all that funky business. If you enjoyed the episode, if you laughed, if you learned something, follow Sutton Says Pod on Instagram. I think I upload these on the Chief Sut YouTube, but just ask. Ask and you shall receive. I'll give you guys just about anything that I can give you if I can give it to you, because Danny told me to do the right thing.
As long as you wear a condom.
We're out.
Bye.